We are back. So once again, this is Unit 1, this is Worksheet 1. So this is the second video. We're starting on number 18. And the directions for number 18 and number 21 say find the value of the variables and the measure of each angle in the diagram. So the first thing we have to do is we have to find the value of the variables. Typically, in order to find the value of the variables, you're going to have to write some type of algebraic equation. And then once we find the values of the variables, then we need to find the measure of each angle. So what we're going to have to do there is we're going to have to substitute in our answers in. Okay, so the first thing that I notice is that I've got this angle up here, the top left angle, denoted by 13x plus 9 degrees, and it is a vertical angle with the angle that is denoted with the 15x minus 1 degrees. Well, vertical angles are always equal, so therefore I could use the equation 15x minus 1, which is that angle, is equal to 13x plus 9. Okay, and then we're just going to solve this equation out in order to solve for our variable x. So I'm going to subtract 13x from each side of the equation, and then at the same time I'm also going to add 1 to each side of the equation. That would cancel out the 1's, that would cancel out the 13x's, and then my new equation would become 15x minus 13x is 2x is equal to positive 9 plus 1 is 10. Dividing both sides of the equation by 2, x is equal to 5. So that's going to be one of my variables in this problem. Okay, this problem has a second variable, and the second variable is y. So you can see this bottom left angle right here is denoted by 4y plus 2 degrees. And then the angle vertical with it is denoted by the expression 2 times the quantity 3y minus 25 degrees. Well, once again, vertical angles are equal to each other. So I could take one of the expressions. We'll use the 2 times the quantity 3y minus 25. And because it's vertical with the 4y plus 2 degree angle, that means that those two equations are equal. So we set them equal to each other, and then we're going to solve this equation out for x. So the first thing that we're going to do is we are going to distribute the 2 to eliminate the parentheses. 2 multiplied by 3y is 6y, but the minus sign, 2 multiplied by 25 is 50. So 6y minus 50 is equal to 4y plus 2. Then I'm going to subtract 4y from both sides of the equation. And then at the same time, I'm going to add 50 to both sides of the equation. That would cause the 50's to cancel each other out. And that would cause the 4y's to cancel each other out because they're inverses of each other. 6y minus 4y is 2y. I bring down the equal sign. Positive 2 plus 50 is 52. So then I'm going to divide both sides of the equation by 2, and I get y is equal to 26. Now, once I have my x and once I have my y, now I have to find the measure of each angle. Okay, well, the way that I'm going to find the measure of each angle is, I'll go ahead and find this angle first. So to find that angle, the 13x plus 9 degree angle, what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to substitute the 5 in the place of x. So this angle would become 13 times 5 plus 9. 13 times 5 is 65. 65 plus 9 is, 74 degrees. So that means this angle right here is 74 degrees. Now, if I'm thinking smartly, I don't have to substitute 5 in the place of x here. And the reason is because since these angles right here, these two angles here are vertical, that means they have to be equal. So if that's 74, this angle also has to be 74 degrees. Okay, then what I can do is I can think smartly for the other angles. So now I can find 4y plus 2 degrees. Now I can do it one of two ways. I can either substitute the 26 into the place of y here, and you can watch what I do here. So I get 4y plus 2. I substitute the 26 into the place of y, so I get 4 times 26 plus 2. 4 times 26 is 104. 104 plus 2 is 106. So this angle is 106 degrees, which would mean that the angle that it's a vertical angle with would also be 106 degrees. Alright, so now what you notice is not only are the vertical angles equal to each other, 74 and 74 and 106 and 106, but the adjacent angles on the straight line, any way we look at it, these two, or these two on the straight line, or these two on this straight line, they add up together to make 180 degrees. So really, once I knew that was 74, I could have just subtracted 180 from that, and I could have got the 106 there. Alright, moving on to number 21. I'm going to use the same idea. So we have this 7x degree angle, we have this 5x plus 18 degree angle, and once again, those two angles are vertical with each other. So to solve for x, I know vertical angles are equal. So the 7x angle has to be equal to the 5x plus 18 angle. And don't get freaked out that they look differently. Remember, these are just expressions. They're not actual definitive numbers. So now I solve this equation out. I'm going to subtract 5x's from both sides of the equation. 5x's would cancel out. 2x is equal to 18. I would divide both sides of the equation by 2. Therefore, x is equal to 9. That's one of my variables. Then I'm going to use the same concept in order to find y. So if you notice, this 13y angle right here is a vertical angle with the 6y minus 27 angle. So vertical angles are equal. So I'm sorry, 16y. So I'm going to take the 16y minus 27 degree angle, and I know it's equal to the 13y degree angle because once again, they are vertical angles. So I'm going to subtract 16y from both sides. Typically, I always take away the side that has the smaller amount of y's, but because there's no constant value over here, I'm going to take away those 16y's. It'll give me the same answer. So I get negative 27 is equal to 13y minus 16y is negative 3y. I divide both sides by negative 3, and I get positive 9 is equal to y. So y is equal to positive 9. Okay, so x is 9 and y is 9. Now once again, if I work smartly in using the concept that I did in number 18, I'm going to take 9, I'm going to plug it in or substitute it into one of these angles that has the x in it. I'm going to substitute into the 7x because that's a lot easier. 7x would become 7 times 9, which is 63. So that means this angle here is 63 degrees, which means the vertical angle with it has to be also 63 degrees. Now, if I want to work smartly, I notice that this 63 degree angle is right next to this angle right here, and they're on a straight line. So that means this angle has to be 180 minus 63. A straight angle or a straight line is always 180 degrees. Well, that gives me 117 degrees. So that means that angle has to be 117 degrees, which would make the vertical angle with it also 117 degrees. Number 22, if angle C and angle D are complementary, complete the following. I need to find the value of x, I need to find the measure of angle C, and I need to find the measure of angle D. So remember that complementary means adds to 90 degrees. Thinking ahead. So what does that mean? Well, if angle C and angle D are complementary, it means that angle C, when I add it to angle D, those two angles have to add up to be equal to 90 degrees. Angle C is represented by 3x, plus angle D is represented by the expression x minus 6. So all I do is I substitute 3x in the place of angle C, x minus 6 in the place of angle D, and those two combined together by adding them up are going to be equal to 90, and I use this to solve for x. So I'm going to combine the 3x and the plus, and remember, if there's no coefficient in front of the x, that means there's a 1, so those two combine to 4x. Then I'm going to add 6 to both sides of the equation to cancel out those 6's, so I get 4x is equal to 96. and then I divide both sides of the equation by 4, and that gives me an answer of x is equal to 24. So there's my x value. X is equal to 24. Now, to find the measure of angle C, I'm going to substitute 24, which is x, into the angle C's expression. So angle C, which is represented by 3x, would be equal to 3 times 24, because x is 24. So that is equal to 72 degrees. Angle C is 72 degrees. Okay, now I could find angle D one of two ways. I could substitute 24 in the place of x here, and I know, so for instance, that angle D is equal to x minus 6. I could change x into 24, because that's what x is, and 24 minus 6 is going to give me angle D, so that's equal to 18. So that's one way you could do it. Another way I could have done it was, I knew the angles were complementary. If I know that angle is 72, I could go 90 minus 72, which would have given me 18 degrees. Either way. Number 23, same idea. The angle C and the measure of angle D are still complementary. So that means then that the angle C expression, x plus 10, added to the angle D expression, which is 2x minus 7, they're going to add up together to be equal to 90 degrees. Why? Because we are told that they're complementary. Complementary means they add to 90 degrees. Okay, I'm going to combine the 1x and the 2x. That's going to give me 3x. I'm going to combine the positive 10 with the minus 7. That's going to give me positive 3. So simplifying my equation, I get 3x plus 3 equals 90. I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. Those 3's would cancel out. Now my equation becomes 3x is equal to 87. And then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Therefore, x is going to be equal to 29. So there's my answer for x, 29. Now, to find the measure of angle C, I'm going to substitute 29 into the expression for angle C. We know that angle C is equal to x plus 10. We just found out that x is 29, so I'm going to substitute 29 in the place of x. Therefore, angle C is going to be 39 degrees. Okay, so now I'm going to solve angle D the other way. So I know that since angle C and angle D are complementary, that means they add up to 90 degrees. So to find angle D, I'm just going to go 90 minus 39. And that is 51 degrees. So angle D has to be 51. I don't have to substitute the 29 in there. I could solve it another way. All right, moving on. Number 24 and number 25. We use the information that if angle E and angle F are supplementary, we're going to complete the following. We're going to find the value of y, we're going to find the measure of angle E, then we're going to find the measure of angle F. Now, once again, what does supplementary mean? Supplementary means adds to 180 degrees. Okay? So we're going to solve 24 and 25 like number 22, like number 23, except for, because they're supplementary, we're going to add the expressions and make them equal to 180 degrees. So angle E is represented by the expression 5y minus 3. We're going to add that to angle F, which is represented by the expression 2y plus 1. And those two expressions are going to be equal to 180. Why are they equal to 180? Because angle E and angle F are supplementary, which means they add to equal 180. I'm going to solve this for y. Combine the 5y and the 2y to give me 7y. I'm going to combine the negative 3 with the positive 1. That makes negative 2. So simplifying my equation, I get 7y minus 2 equals 180. I continue to solve. My next step would be to add 2 to both sides of the equation. The 2's would cancel out. My new equation would be 7y equals 182. And then my last step to solve for y would be to divide both sides of the equation by 7. So 7 goes into 182. 20, let's see, that'd be 14, that'd be 4, 26 times. Sorry, I was doing it in my head. The lights just went out. There we go, we're back on. So y is equal to 26. Okay, hold on one sec, I gotta walk around the classroom, and I got to get the lights to turn back on. So you can probably hear me talking. I literally was walking around the classroom with my hands in the air, waving them around. Hopefully nobody walked by. Okay, so now I know y is 26. So now I'm going to find the measure of angle E. So I'm going to substitute 26 into the expression for angle E. Angle E's expression is 5 times whatever y is minus 3. We just figured out that y is 26, so I'm going to go 5 times 26 minus 3. 5 times 26 is 130. 130 minus 3, which is 127. There we go. There is angle E. 127 degrees. Now, I can find angle F one of two ways. I could either subtract 180 from 127, because I know they're supplementary, or I could substitute 26 in for F. Let's go ahead and substitute in. So angle F is equal to the expression 2 times whatever y is plus 1. We figured out that y was 26, so we're going to go 2 times 26 plus 1. That is 52 plus 1, so angle F is equal to 53 degrees. Alright, so how do we know we did it right? Simple. If I added up 53 to 127, do they add to 180? They do, so that verifies that I did number 24 right. Last one, number 25, we're going to do it the same way. Since they're supplementary, we're going to take the expression for angle E, which is y minus 9. We're going to add it to the expression for angle F, which is 4y plus 14. And we're going to make that equal to 180 because angle E and angle F are supplementary. Combining the y with the 4y, remember this is a 1y, so that gives me 5y. Then I'm going to combine the negative 9 with the positive 14, that gives me positive 5. So simplifying the equation, it becomes 5y plus 5 equals 180. Then I'm going to subtract 5 from both sides of the equation. Those 5's will cancel out, and my new equation becomes 5y equals 175. I'm unwrapping the equation one step at a time, always doing the inverse. I'm going to divide by 5, and I am going to get y is equal to 35. So there's my answer for y. Now, to find angle E, I'm going to take angle E's expression, which is whatever y is minus 9. I'm going to substitute 35 for y. We just figured that out. So 35 minus 9 tells me that angle E is equal to 26 degrees. Now, to find angle F, I'm going to solve it the other way. I know that the angles are supplementary. So to find angle F, I could just take 180 and subtract angle E, which is 26 from it. So 180 minus 26 is 154 degrees. There we go.